Another one? Wasn't there just one last week or the week before? What the hell is going on? Okay. Okay, let's check this out.
From Rhode Island, this terrible story. 3 people dead, including the attacker, after a shooting at a youth hockey game that was captured on camera. The shooting happened in Pawtucket, a few miles outside of Providence, yesterday afternoon. 3 more in critical condition at the hospital. Alexis McAdams has more on this. And the gunman. Alexis, good morning.
Bill, good morning. Yeah, this just keeps unfolding and the details are shocking and really tragic. There was just chaos inside of this ice rink out in Rhode Island during a high school hockey game after one of the hockey parents in the crowd pulled out a gun and opened fire, shooting members of his own family. Watch.
Wow, he was unloading on them.
Gunshots, they're just erupting. You can hear the echo inside of that indoor hockey rink out there in Pawtucket. And then what you see in that video is that people are running for cover there. They're trying to get off the ice. They're ducking and trying to get out of the way. Investigators have identified Robert Dorgan as the shooter. So I want to walk you through what we know about him. Just take a look here at this picture. This is from his social media profiles. They say he also went by Roberta, so Roberta Dorgan. And sources tell Fox he was dressed in women's clothing when he showed up to his son's hockey game yesterday afternoon. These pictures you're looking at are from months ago, Bill, but witnesses and people we've talked to who were at this hockey game say that this was something that happened pretty often where he would show up in women's clothing. So
this is really... This hits close to home because I knew someone. I was very close to someone whose father transitioned. He did it behind their back, and he did it gradually while this whole trans thing was kind of bubbling to the surface. It really wasn't as full blown as it is now, or even a year or 2 ago. But he did it behind their back, and his daughter they kept finding clues, and they found a glaring clue at one point, and it was like, okay. And then just one day, they had a family meeting, and they told me, I was like, because I was thinking like he was sick. Like physically. I know you're all saying, you know what I'm saying? But I'm thinking, he's got cancer, something. Nope. He was just giving an announcement to the family. Like, look, this is who I am. This is what I want to be. This is what I want to do. And he was married at the time. And the wife is like, well, wait, I understand. Like, we're married. Like, and he still wanted to live with them. He just wanted to be another female that lived in the home. He didn't want to be kind of married anymore. He just wanted to be a female. And the person had told me that he had come to a graduation dressed like that. And they had asked him to please come as masculine as possible. But the way he showed up, it was like, I guess to them, they felt he was half-assing it and stuff. And it was just wild. I was close to them through the whole process and what happened and everything. And it's wild. I ended up dating a chick whose daughter transitioned. And I remember when she first told me this. Now, I wouldn't even bat an eye hearing it. But when I first heard it, I was like when she told me, like, this was my reaction. I was like, it's like there's all the squiggly lines and the formulas. Like, I was like trying to wait, what? Her daughter transitioned to a gay man. Right. That's what I thought. I was like, well, isn't that extra steps? Aren't you adding more to your plate? You're already a girl and you like men. So yeah, she was like, she said, I had the same look on my face. She said, I don't understand it, but I'm trying. This was before Scarlo, of course. This was about a year or two before I started dating Scarlett. And a couple of years after that, I decided to check on her Facebook just to see how she was doing. And the daughter was such a cute girl. You gotta see the transformation of what she did to herself. It wasn't good. So, I've seen this. I've been close to people that, and it definitely, I watch a couple of trans YouTubers, mainly Blair White, but there's another one that's trans female to male, and I forgot their name, but I watch both of them. It's a very interesting, very serious thing that goes on in their minds. But I don't understand why all of a sudden there's a bunch of trans mass pew-pews. I have to say that for YouTube so that, you're not all age restricted and all type of problems. But it makes me wonder, okay, well, if there wasn't kind of like a trans type movement going on, it makes me wonder, well, would these people not have transitioned or attempted to transition and just, you would have never known? You know what I'm saying? It would have just been a bunch of guys who did this stuff and business as usual. You see what I'm saying? However, because it's so open now for transitioning, many people are. So now you're finding out a different level to their psyche that may not have been seen before in other mass shooters because they didn't transition. See what I'm saying? Not that all mass, I said the word, not that all mass pew-pews would be like that, but maybe a certain percentage would, I'm trying to think of this on different levels.
According to documents obtained by our affiliate WPRI, Dorgan had a history of family disputes. So let's get into them. Some involving conflict over his gender identity because he had gender reassignment surgery back in 2020. So WPRI reports that in these court documents, his trans identity led to the divorce with his ex-wife.
He had the surgery because he looks extremely masculine.
Reportedly detailing, she said, that he had narcissistic and personality disorder traits along with the transition. So his social media profile's under investigation. I want to point this out. Just one day before he opened fire, he was defending trans Congresswoman Sarah McBride. He wrote this in part on X: "Keep bashing us, but do not wonder why we go berserk." So they're looking into all of these things on social media. As investigators say, it was a targeted attack. That's one thing they know for sure. Sources telling Fox it was a dispute within this family that led to the tragedy. So the gunman shows up, kills his ex-wife and one of his own kids at the hockey game. Police say 3 others are in the hospital fighting for their lives. And there really could have been more people that were killed, but a good Samaritan stepped in and tried to take this gunman down. Watch.
Police were on scene within a minute and a half of that call. A good Samaritan stepped in and interjected in this scene, and that's probably what led to a swift end of this tragic event.
And so what we know right now is that the mayor has said so far, Bill, they've interviewed dozens, maybe more than 100 people. They're going to look at all the different video and pieces together. The question is, how many weapons did this gunman have? We know at least one, and it could have been a lot worse if this other person at the game would have stepped in and taken that shooter down. So we'll keep an eye on it.
Sure, yeah. All caught on camera, too, Alexis. Thank you for that.
And Paul Morrow is still with us. Can you give us a sense of... Well, I know you're a hockey guy.
Yeah.
You grew up on the rink. Your nephews play on the rink, and it's hard for all parents to watch what happened.
Yeah, very, very tough. I would say a couple things. There's some reporting that he had more than one gun. I go to the guns because one of the things we always hear is red flag laws, all right? People who are mentally ill, and by the way, strong Second Amendment advocates agree with that. Crazy people shouldn't have guns. That's how somebody recently put it to me who's very active in that community. This person, by their own daughter's statements after this event, was severely mentally ill and yet had these weapons. And, look, not all trans people are shooters. Nobody is saying that.
Right.
But at some point, we're going to have to accept the evidence here that there's something going on with the medication that is involved in transitioning that creates this kind of anger and disassociation. And I'm sorry, but the fact that you have
maybe that too, because I'm thinking of there's already a disconnect if you feel you're in the wrong body, right? So when you start to take these synthetic hormones that change you, it could definitely cause even more disconnections and problems for the person, right? Makes me think of people that are on PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. Like Coach Greg says, PEDs! And, I remember seeing a video, and like there was a forum, like these bodybuilders were talking about it. Like one particular bodybuilder was like, yo, like steroids made me gay. That's what he said. So it was like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, wait a minute. And I remember Big Lenny, I could have swore I saw a video where he was like, when he was on Tren, he wanted the ladies of the night who he would party with to number 2 on him, but only when he was on Tren. See what I'm saying? So these synthetic concoctions and hormones, if you will, do mess with people. They do make people more violent. You know what I'm saying? Makes people have real aggressive thoughts, dark thoughts, unaliving thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I don't mess with nothing that's going to unnaturally mess with my hormones. Like, for example, they tell you if you eat a lot of onions, you can up your testosterone. That's one way to do it. There's a bunch of other ways too, right? That's done naturally, okay? But eating a bunch of onions, besides giving you bad breath, is not going to do all of this stuff to you that's happening. And, Alex Jones, he's, one of his famous lines is, "Oh, make the frogs gay." You know what I'm saying? So, as funny as it was, the way he said it, he wasn't lying. And I was watching a video the other day, and they were like, this is the chemical that Alex Jones is so famous for, talking about making the frogs gay. You know what I'm saying? So these chemicals mess with people.
Flag laws means that you need to use them, and this guy very clearly was telegraphing in bright red lights. Problem. I'd like to know if the guns were legal, how we got them. That should be a line of inquiry here.
Fair question. Thank you, Paul. This is coming a couple days after the situation in British Columbia, Canada, too, with an 18-year-old. Thank you, Paul, and welcome back here.
Yeah.
Hey.
This is wild. All I gotta say is, look, family members and people, and this goes for anyone dealing with issues, and no matter whether you feel you can get the help or not, you're usually wrong on that. If you don't think that people care, and you don't think that you can get the help that you need, you're wrong. Trust me on that. There's always at least one person in this world that cares. And that's why they have hotlines, and you can talk to anybody, okay? Make it anonymous with no embarrassment. You got the hotlines to call. You got friends, you got family, you got counselors. Talk to a cop. Talk to somebody, so you don't go out and do stuff like this. I will see you on the next video.